Hey everyone, it's Dragonrider, and it's time for the last class for Festival of Legends for theory crafting, and that is Warrior. So the first deck here is my Theorycraft, and I put together basically a Renathal, like a menagerie taunt warrior. So it kind of sounds ridiculous, but I think there's something there. There might be enough taunt support now to finally start getting things to work here. I'll just kind of run through this list. Last Stand, you gotta draw taunt minions and potentially double their stats. Seems good. Razorfen Rockstar, I really like this one. After you gain armor, you're gonna get more armor, so seems pretty good. Shield Slam, of course, all that armor you're gonna gain, you want to kill stuff off. Bash for more armor and killing smaller things. I included one Guard the City just because of the other things that I wanted to fit in, so this also helps gain you armor, and just puts a small taunt in the way, hopefully early in the game. Roaring Applause, just because it's fantastic card draw, and again, we're playing kind of a menagerie deck, so there's gonna be some varying types of minions. Bronze Gatekeepers, they are taunts, and they are mechs, so they're gonna work with Ziliax really well. Heavy Plate, of course, just for that tradable and more armor. Hook Fist is a mech and a pirate, which is great, but I really like the after your hero attacks, you gain armor and you draw a card, so fantastic. There's a little bit of weapon stuff in here. And I also put these power sliders because rush and getting buffs for stuff that has happened throughout the whole game is fantastic. This can impact, like, any turn that you draw it because of the play this game effect. So I like these power sliders, gonna see how they go in here. Of course, you gotta have Renathal if it's a Renathal deck. Then after that, we have some shield blocks. Again, more armor, more card draw. The Sentinel here, a pretty decent taunt, but gets even better if you have that Mana Thirst effect at 8. The Lava Gorger for a taunt, again, more kind of like draw effect of dredging, but you also get armor. And then I put 2 copies of the Sunfire Smithing in here. I think this is great. It's going to give you a weapon, and you're going to buff minion in your hand. There's a lot of minions in this deck, and a lot of them also have taunt and some other stuff, so adding more stats to taunt minions is great, plus more weapon synergy for like the Hook Fist, and it just seems to work really, really well. So I like these ones a lot. Sword Eater, also again, a taunt. It works with the menagerie, and it gives you a weapon. I just put 1 Brawl, again, because of the kind of other stuff that I wanted to fit in here. This might go up to 2, but I definitely wanted to include at least 1 Brawl, just to help. But since there's also actually a decent chunk of minions in this deck, I figured we're probably going to ideally be on board or ahead on board for most of the time, so just 1 Brawl for now. I did put 2 of these drum soloists, but again, because there's so many minions, like maybe you're going to be playing kind of on curve, and you can play this on curve without other minions and get this effect, but at least if not, it is a taunt, it's a 5/5. If you maybe pull it off of some of the other stuff, maybe you get to double the stats, all of a sudden it's a 5/10/10 taunt, and then you probably don't really care if you get the rush, so seems okay. Of course, you gotta have Ziliax. It is a taunt in itself, it has that magnetic effect, and the lifesteal is great, but again, just kind of helps, and if you can, again, double these stats, that seems fantastic. Armadillo, because again, taunt, it's a beast, so it works with the stuff, but all taunt minions in your hand get a +2/+2, and it's guaranteed to go off at least once because it'll be at the end of the turn that you play it. And honestly, this seems pretty great with all of these other taunt minions. And 6 mana isn't that much to pay for it. Another 6 mana, we have Flesh Shaper. This has got a big health stat on it. It's got that taunt, it's an undead, and if you have 5 or more armor, you summon a copy. So more bodies seems great, and there's a likelihood that you're going to have armor to be able to play with this. Then I wanted to put the Silver Fury Stalwart in here as well. It's a taunt, but it also has Rush, and it can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. So even if it doesn't get buffed, still just a 4 mana or a 4 attack rush seems pretty great, right? Like, there's gonna be maybe some aggro decks or some lower curve decks that you can clear something up with this. And then at the very top end, I just put one Tidal Revenant in here. It is an elemental, but helping you gain some more armor, maybe dealing some damage to clear something up, or a little bit of damage to face, potentially. This is another one where I kind of wanted 2, but I wanted to try to fit some of the other stuff in. So this is one that I want to play around with and like test and see kind of what of the cards feel good, but it's probably going to require more games to do that because it's a Renathal deck, but also because starting in this meta, there's going to be a lot of different decks being tried, and so you're going to have to play more games to get like a better actual representation of how the deck works out. But yeah, very interesting curve here. A lot of 3 drops you can see, but I still think this is something that has potential, and I'm kind of excited to try it out. I did also consider putting in the 1 Amalgam Band, since it's a menagerie, but I just didn't feel like that really fit. And I'd rather just have more taunt stuff or more like removal or more armor gain or more draw over just playing something like on turn 7 that has some stats and effects. So I decided to actually get that out of the deck. And now looking at our community submitted deck, we have a deck from Benjamin. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for submitting a deck. We have a Tony Fires of Zin-Ajari Steam Cleaner deck. Yeah, that's right. That's right. The combo is there. You got Tony, King of Piracy, a new legendary. When he's on the board, the decks are switched, and if he gets killed, the decks will switch back. So the goal of the deck is to play Fires of Zin-Ajari after you have like Tony in your hand. You play this, you replace your deck, and then you play Tony. You switch those decks and give that deck to your opponent, and then you can try to play the Steam Cleaner to destroy all the cards that didn't start in the deck, and essentially kind of force them to hit fatigue. I don't know. I feel like this deck was tried and tested during the Theorycraft stream, but I am really curious to see how it does in like a wider meta. But there's definitely some different things in here to be able to kind of draw through the deck quickly and try to get to that combo stuff. So you have the Oscillator to try to discount some of your mechs, like the Steam Cleaner as the ideal target there, just to be able to do more of your combo pieces in one turn. Glacial Shard, freezing an enemy. This is new to the core set, which is great. It's coming back from an old set. And freezing an enemy even means the opponent's face if you have to, so lots of flexibility there. Of course, Last Stand, like I had as well, to draw a taunt minion. So you're kind of really catering to a specific thing with this deck as opposed to my deck that was kind of filled with taunts. Of course, Finley, he's great to just be able to try to cycle through some cards, find tools that you need. Slams, just to be able to start getting some more card draw, cycling through the deck. The Forged in Flame, again, kind of the same thing. Getting rid of your weapon, drawing more cards. There's going to be a lot of draw. Guard the City. Again, very similar effect as to how I had it in my deck. Just trying to gain a little bit of armor, put something in the way, kind of just stall the game a little bit. 1 instrument tech to draw a weapon, of course. Roaring Applause, definitely more draw. Of course, the Fires of Zin-Ajari itself. And then does include some of these riffs. The Verse riff, the give your hero attack and armor, and then play your last rift if you played it as a finale. The weapon is the Woodcutter's Axe here, going to give a friendly minion some stats after the death rattle. And it's just a little weapon. But this is a pretty decent one to just work with something like the Forged in Flame, just to get it, get some card draw out of it. And of course, the Chorus riff there to draw a minion. Again, lots and lots of draw. giving it +2/+2. Hopefully replaying this same one to draw more would be, I think, the most ideal. Of course, Shield Block, again, more draw, tons and tons of draw. You also have Phelan, and then From the Depths, so trying to be able to like put Colossals in the bottom. The From the Depths, I think, pretty flexible, even just being able to reduce whatever's in your deck. Not terrible either, if you really had to, but the dredge part is kind of what's the most important there. Being able to potentially discount like the Steam Cleaner, the Tony, or the Fires, just those kind of big combo pieces that you want to play kind of all together, could be good. You don't even really have to use it for Phelan, but it could work with Phelan as well. But I think From the Depths, pretty flexible. Of course, some Sword Eaters. Again, just a little bit of taunt like Stall. Gives you some weapons for that Forged in Flame. And then the Steam Cleaner and Tony is the very top end. So definitely very curious to see how something like this works out in the meta, if this kind of like combo type deck really does do enough there. So thank you again to Benjamin for the submission. And what do you all think of these decks? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you again to everyone who has been checking all of these out. And if you did miss it, go ahead and check out this video here with my Warlock and our Warlock community deck as well. And I'll see you in the next one.